not spy on one another. Do not speak against each other's back. Do not backbite. And the Quran continues, are you willing to have the dead meat of your brother? And the Quran replies, nay, surely you'll abhor it. What is the meaning that if you backbite, it means you're having the dead meat of your brother? Because it's a double crime. Speaking bad about anyone without any proof itself is a sin. And eating dead meat itself is a sin, and the doctor can testify that if you eat dead meat you can have several diseases. But speaking false against someone behind the back is double crime. It is as though you're eating the dead meat of your own brother. The cannibals who eat dead meat and who also eat human beings, they don't touch their own brother. So if you backbite, it is as though you're eating the dead meat of your brother. Now some people may say that freedom of speech, if you speak or if you write, does not harm anyone physically. I do agree with them. But let me tell you, many a times, the mental torture is much more harmful than physical torture. It is much more long-lasting than physical torture. I'd like to give an example. Suppose the teacher picks up our students in the classroom and without any reason, without any solid proof, slaps that small child who's very obedient, who's a very good student. That child will feel the pain of the slap for a few seconds or maybe for a few minutes. But the mental trauma that he was insulted in front of the classroom is much more lasting and much more damaging. Let's take another example. If a teacher without a reason calls that same child in the staff room and slaps him. And take another example, that the teacher in front of the classroom abuses that child, abuses that student, calls him a cheat, calls it a fake, and all sorts of nonsense. Let me tell you that the second example of the teacher insulting that student, calling him a cheat and giving him offensive name is much more harmful as compared to slapping him in a small closed room with no one around. So speech and writing can cause more harm, sometimes, not always, than physical torture. Therefore it is said that pen is mightier than the sword. Now what does Quran talk about freedom of speech? Quran is one of the only holy scriptures which I know of which gives mankind a way how to prove the Quran wrong. It tells the people that if you want to prove the Quran wrong, do so and so things, and it gives several challenges. Amongst one of the challenges is from Surah Nisa, chapter number 4, which states, أَفَلَا يَتَدَبَّرُونَ الْقُرْآنَ وَلَوْ كَانَ مِنْ عِنْدِ غَيْرِ اللَّهِ لَوَجَدُوا فِيهِ اخْتِلَافًا كَثِيرًا. That do not they consider the Quran with care? Had it been from anyone besides Allah, there would have been many discrepancies, there would have been many contradictions. So if any human being, maybe a Muslim or non-Muslim, if he wants to prove the Quran wrong, the only thing he has to do is take out faults in the Quran. It is so easy to prove the Quran wrong. But same time Quran says, قُلْ هَاتُوا بُرْهَانَكُمْ, produce your proof, in kuntum sadiqin, but if you are truthful, produce your proof. All these so-called giants of literature, Salman Rushdie as well as Taslima Nasreen, do they think they have given proof for the allegation against the Quran? قُلْ هَاتُوا بُرْهَانَكُمْ, produce your proof. But if you are speaking the truth, Quran gives freedom of speech, Islam gives freedom of speech, but with proof. Some people, as you may know, many of the Indian journalists as well as writers, they quote the Quran out of context. They misquote the Quran. The very famous quotation which I believe all of you may be knowing, that Quran mentions, wherever you find a kafir, you kill him. Indirectly Quran is saying that wherever you find a Hindu, the Muslim should kill him. Let me tell you, the word kafir does not mean a Hindu. It means a person who conceals the truth. It means a person who rejects the truth. And have we given the context? Or let me give an example. Suppose America and Vietnam, they're having a war against each other. And during the battlefield, the American president or the Army General of America gives an order that wherever you find Vietnamese, you kill them. And later on, that thing happened decades earlier, several years ago, and today you say that the American president said that wherever you find a Vietnamese, you kill him. It's out of context. He was saying it in the battlefield, because during the battlefield, the opposite party was the enemy, and if they are going to try to kill you, you have to defend, you have to fight. So in the same fashion, the Quran mentions that when these unbelievers come to attack you, come to kill you, don't get scared, fight them. And if necessary, kill them, in context. Only those people who are fighting against you, not innocent people. So please don't quote out of context, please don't misquote. Regarding the last type of freedom of expression, that you can blame anyone, you can criticize anyone with solid facts. Again, they are subdivided into two types. Some facts are meant to be secret, some are not secret. Suppose a government official working in the American government, he tells all the details of the American Army, of the American Navy, of the American Air Force to the enemy. He is speaking the truth, mind you, with proof he is giving you, with photocopies, with photographs, with blueprints, all the secrets of the American government. Do you think the American government will give that person an award? If someone does that to same to the Indian government, do you think the Indian government will give that traitor an award? Will it give that person a Bharat Ratna? Surely not. It will hold him on trial and punish him. So such type of truths which are meant to be secret, if revealed, Quran is against. He is called a munafiq, a hypocrite. Come to the last type. That can you speak against, can you defame, can you criticize with proof, which is not a secret. Example, a government official in America speaks against the corruption of the government in America. Quran gives him full right. Quran encourages such truth to be told in public against falsehood. Such truth, Quran always agrees. And I started my lecture with a ayat from the Quran. I'd like to end it with the same, which says, وَقُلْ جَعَلْ حَقُّ وَزَاقَ الْبَاطِلِ إِنَّ الْبَاطِلَ كَانَ زَهُوقًا وَنَزِّلُ مِنَ الْقُرْآنِ مَا هُوَ شِفَاءٌ وَرَحْمَةٌ لِلْمُؤْمِنِينَ وَلَا يَزِيدُ الظَّالِمِينَ إِلَّا خَسَارًا. Which means, when truth is hurled against falsehood, falsehood perishes. For falsehood is by its nature bound to perish. The Quran was revealed in stages, and it's a mercy and healing for the believers. As for the people of untruth, it is nothing but loss after loss. Thank you very much for a patient hearing.
That was quite a provocative speech, provocative in a very positive manner. It sets us thinking. And our last speaker is Mr. Ashok.